Hey, how's it going today? We're out here at the park today as we're looking at social distancing. Most gyms are closed. A lot of you are not going to have kettlebells, dumbbells. Some may not have resistance bands, but you're not going to have the machines especially that you're used to using. So we're going to look at a few things that you're going to be able to do just to be able to keep things going. All I have with me today, I brought this backpack. It is full of water. This ends up being 10 kilos or 22 pounds. I can throw a little bit more in there. I can throw some canned goods in there or something like that if you want to make a little more weight. You can fill your bottles with sand if you have access to sand or dirt, because that's going to be more dense than water, therefore it's going to be a little bit heavier. But that's what I'm going to use today. I'm just going to be using the backpack. I may use the band a little bit. I have this single black resistance band, and we're going to use equipment that you're going to be able to find at any park. I'll try to do different parks on different days just to show you what kind of different things you can do if you're going to have a little bit of ingenuity. And yeah, hopefully you will enjoy this and you'll be able to use this during these uncertain couple weeks, months, whatever it may be. So today we're going to be looking at time under tension training. All of these are going to be slow, controlled movements. We're going to be overloading the muscle by making the muscle stay contracted for a longer period of time. And I'll show you what I mean by that with these first couple movements. But we're going to be looking at slow contraction, and there's going to be isometric holds as well. Isometric meaning you're going to stay in the same position. So that is going to be with the muscle being worked and then staying at that contracted point. The first one we're going to do is a step up. If you don't have heavy weights available to you, then single-sided movements are going to be your friend. Because if you're used to doing a squat, having this extra 10 kilos or 22 pounds on my back isn't going to be a huge weight. It's not going to make a whole lot of difference. When you put that onto a single leg movement, then that makes it much more difficult. So first we're going to look at how you may normally do step-ups. A lot of the time you're just thinking about getting up there and coming back down. Getting up there, coming back down. That's not going to be the thing that's going to get you the most gains. It's not going to be the movement that's going to give you the most progress and the best workout. So we're looking at time under tension here. So with this, we're looking at slow and controlled. We're looking at something that's going to be probably about knee height. So we're going to have your knee parallel to your hip. All right, you don't need to be stepped way up here. Parallel is going to be just perfect. And you get your entire foot there on the bench, on the step, on whatever stable surface you can find. And then we're looking at that bit of a lean forward and the up and the controlled back down. And the up and the controlled back down. So don't try to push off with your toe. This toe that's on the ground, there shouldn't be any pop from that. That makes it, it just takes a lot of the tension off of the quad and the glute of the working leg. So again, we're going to look at that nice and slow just so you can see with the other leg as well. This is lean forward. You're pushing through your heel, get that balance. The up, and then, whoa. And balance is going to be key on this one too, as you're only going to be having one foot on the ground, one point of contact. Up, and that slow, controlled down. Slow, controlled up. Slow, controlled down. And once you get in 5-6 reps of that, you're probably going to really know that that muscle's working. Alright, next we're going to be going with this row. So I've got these kind of 45-degree angle bars at this gym. It would be really nice if I ended up having a parallel bar, but that's not what I have, so I make do with what I've got here. So first we can do right here and just working on that regular row, pull up and back down. You're looking at pulling your elbows back next to your side, keeping that core tight so you're not going to be letting your hips dip. That row up, squeeze your shoulder blades together and come back down. Now in order to make that more difficult, like I was talking about with the step up, we're looking at that unilateral movement, so that's going to be one arm at a time. So right there, take that one arm off and roll up and back down. This one really requires you to really keep your core locked in. You can also turn that into kind of an archer row. So rotate out, turn, and row. So how that would look like from the other side, you're going to be right here, turn out, come back to center so your chest is pointed straight, and row. I grabbed just a little high there. And it's good to be able to have your feet locked against some kind of anchor point too. Down, up, and row. Find your right grip, your right hand hold, and a few reps of that, you're really going to feel that one working. So this would be kind of like with the TRX. If you were to step back a little bit, this is going to end up being a much easier movement. So the closer your body gets down to parallel, the more difficult it's going to become. Swings are going to work very much like a suspension trainer or TRX, especially for the rows. So with this one, you just got to find something that you're going to be able to hold on to safely. And same thing, row all the way back to your chest. I want to go with that slow, controlled movement. Squeeze those elbows back, and just like with a suspension trainer, the further you step forward, the more difficult it gets. So if you're needing to start out, you can always start off standing up. Be careful on the surfaces because you can slide, especially if your playground is made from wood chips or dirt like mine is. So the most obvious body weight movement for upper body is the push-up. Now whether you're doing that on the ground, you can modify that one up to a bench. So that would be this way if you're just starting off. Excuse the construction across the street, dealing with the hazards of doing this outside. That is where you can be right there. Exact same movement. Exact same movement. Exact same movement. You're just able to assist yourself a little bit more the further up you go. Now if you're needing to progress this a little bit, you've got push-ups on the ground. You can bang through 30-40 of those. This is where you can always put the backpack on. That's going to be a form of resistance. But then that's where we can use a band as well. And so these banded push-ups, they're really going to do a lot. And even if you are up and using a modification on a bench, what this is going to do with these press-ups is as you're going down and pushing back up, that's making the top piece of the push-up more difficult. Keeping those elbows tucked down close and push away. So same thing on the ground. It is definitely becoming more difficult as you're here. Make sure that band is under your shoulder blade so it doesn't come off and snap you in the neck. Put that down and that big push up. Now we'll take that backpack and put it around to the front, and we're going to be looking at single leg RDLs. So with that, you're going to find your good stable surface, and big thing here is you got to keep that back straight while you're driving back. Put that stretch in your hamstring and squeeze back up. The goal here is to try to keep it on one foot. One thing I see pretty often with this one, even in the gym with equipment that's built for it, is to then come here and then to stand up this way. Really look at that slow, controlled motion. And that's where, even if you need something to have a little bit of balance when you're down there, that's perfectly fine. You're down here, have that tiny bit of balance. Notice I'm just putting a couple fingers on there. That's all I'm looking for, just so I have some a second point of contact for balance. And that squeeze back up, slow and controlled, and really squeeze your glute at the top. Make sure that you're coming all the way to that full standing position, keeping your shoulder blades pulled back, so that balance. And then on down, and drive back up. For chin-ups and for your bicep and lat work, negative chin-ups are going to be your best friend. So we're looking for a bar that's going to be about chin height, and with this, it's again time under tension. So it's a slow, controlled release. This is an eccentric movement. Eccentric meaning the muscle is lengthening. So the bicep, when it's here, it's shortened, and as your arm stretches out, the bicep lengthens. Same with your lat. As you release, your lat lengthens. So here we're looking at getting in that chin up position, up high, and then that slow, controlled release down to full extension. And then you stand it back up. Hop there, and your slow, controlled release that whole way down. Don't worry about the pull back up piece. That can come later, but just work that slow control. Now, if this is what your slow control looks like, don't fear. That is where you can use your feet, your toes, kind of as a spotter. So you're here, put your toes there, and only take off as much weight as you need in order to go down slowly. So use them like a spotter. If you need to put 10 kilos, 20 pounds of pressure there on your toes, do it. If you need to put 30, do it. If you need to actually have your feet out in front of you and make it more like a squat, so you're just trying to pick up your knees, do it that way. But that is going to be something that's going to really help you out. And that's even when you're back at the gym. Do negatives. They are a great exercise. So hopefully this has been useful to you. You're going to be able to use these movements at the park. Stay looking for more content coming up. Big thank you to Simon and Complete Fitness for letting me keep my job during these uncertain times. And a big thanks to Gatorade and the NSCA for the backpack from getting my CSCS. Thank you for Perform Better for these wonderful bands that I have. Yeah. Leave a comment, share this with somebody else that you think may need it, and yeah, I will see you soon. Stay safe out there. Slippery, the further down you get, you may have to really dig those heels in, and you may end up sliding. We'll put that in the blooper. Here, I'm going to be able to get here, and I do also have this amazing option to do cycling. Most of you probably don't have this at your little home gym park, but if you do, you really get the pump on, and you may get a little dizzy too. Woo!